I just want to say up front, I don't think I've ever felt really represented in a book. Now, zooming up a level, I don't think that's why I usually read books. I'm not looking for representation or an alignment with like who I am. I'm often looking for things like escape or things like personal development. So now if I zoom back in to the question that was actually asked of me, I gotta be honest, I think, okay, when I'm an 8-year-old kid, I'm at Sunset Heights Elementary School in Oshawa, Ontario. I'm super nerdy. I'm super skinny. I'm the only brown kid in my whole school, I want to say, except for maybe my sister. My librarian, Mrs. Farrell, takes pity on me. She hands me a copy of Sideways Stories from Wayside School by Louis Sachar. That book made me fall in love with reading. That book opened my eyes to the idea that books could be enjoyable. If I had to think, okay, getting older, teenage years, in my 20s and stuff, when did I first feel a connection with a character or a book? I'm going to go with Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, not because I'm in any way comparing myself to the Buddha, but rather because it was written by a white dude, Hermann Hesse, who wrote about a brown guy, okay? That was the idea. That was the thing that was interesting to me. I was like, this guy, he's growing up in India. You know, there's some words and some language used in that book that I was familiar with from my cultural upbringing. My dad being from India, my mom Indian by way of East Africa. And so that book spoke to me in a sense. And then more recently, I think the book that most spoke to me is a book by Mohsin Hamid. So Mohsin Hamid is a Pakistani-based author, famous for books like Exit West and The Reluctant Fundamentalist. But the book that really spoke to me was actually called How to Get Filthy Rich in Rising Asia. That doesn't sound like a book you want to be connected to. So ignore the title, okay? Because it makes it sound like a sort of a cheesy self-help book. That's kind of the point, I guess. It's not a self-help book, it's a novel. But there's so much about the immigrant experience, about striving, about like trying to start a business. There's so much about that entrepreneurial zest that my parents had. And of course, Mohsin Hamid, being Pakistani, does drizzle into his books all kinds of little references, phrases, and words that I felt a personal connection to because they reminded me of things that I grew up with. So those are 3 books that get closest to helping me feel like I have been represented or I feel connected to a character in the book. But I'm still searching. Haven't quite found it yet. Always open to suggestions. Drop me a line anytime if you have a good one for me to read.